Hello, what's up people? David Taub here. Hope you're doing well, enjoying the guitar, and you just watched hopefully our primer or introduction on bar chords, and now we're going to get you going. And like I said before, a lot about bar chords is it's in here. It's in the mind, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to make it easy for you. I'm going to show you a couple tricks, and we're going to get into ways to start playing some bar chords. Now it's going to take some time to get this down and get all the notes to sound good, so I want you to stick with it, and I want you to work hard at it, and you will get it, my friends. No problem, okay? So, what we're going to learn today is we're going to learn the basic position for a 6-string root, or basically bar chords off the low E string. Now remember from the primer, what we talked about, the bar chords, you're just going to be kind of sliding them back and forth, and you don't have to remember a new shape for, let's say, the major. And then we're just going to do a different shape as far as removing a finger for the minor, removing another finger for the 7th. It's really simple once you get the basic kind of structure of it down, okay? So, I'm going to bring the camera up tight and to give you a close look at this. And what we're going to do is we're going to be playing a 6-string root or bar chords off the low E string, okay? Using all 6 strings where you're barring. Now, remember from our previous strength building exercise, you should be able to now be able to hold the 1-finger bar and get all 6 strings to ring out and build up some strength. You should work at that to build up some strength in that first finger, that bar finger, okay? Because we're going to have to bar that across all 6 strings. Now let me show you an easy way, and I'm going to bring the camera in real tight, and actually I'm going to come in real tight. The camera's going to stay fixed, but I'm going to show you an easy way to play your first bar chord. Now, here's how we're going to fingers. We're going to try this fingering to get you to play this, okay? I want you to play an E major chord. Everybody knows what that looks like. That's an open position E major. Okay, there's all 6 strings. There's a better look at that chord. That's E major, right? Okay. Now I want you to play that chord, but this time we're going to just change the fingering. I want to free up your first finger. So we're going to finger the chord, but just put your second finger where your first finger was, and your third finger where your second finger was, and your pinky where your third finger was. And basically, you still have an E minor chord, but now we could do it when the first finger is free. I'm sorry, E major chord. This is E major. Okay? Now let's take this whole cluster, leave it like that, and we're going to slide it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets. Okay, we're going to slide it down, let's slide it down 4, okay, till we get right here. Okay, I want to try to keep the nut in the shot. This right here is the 5th fret, okay? So now you're kind of holding down what looks like this E minor chord, okay, E major chord, okay, and now here's the trick. With your first finger, you're going to just lay it down across all 6 strings, okay, and you get this. This is a low E string root or 6-string root bar chord. Okay, my first finger is barring the 6 strings and pushing down like you did in that strength builder. This is at the 5th fret. There's the nut right there so you can see. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Okay, 5th fret. Now, this is still in a configuration like an E major chord. And you just put that first finger up. Now this is going to feel very, very weird at first. My thumb, see the thumb, is in the back of the neck. Not up like this, not, you know, way, it's just in the back of the neck, so the wrist is down, not up here, okay? And you're just laying that across. Now the trick is, you want to get all 5 strings to sound clean. 6 strings actually. Okay, all 6. What's probably going to be happening is you're probably going to hear something like this. Up, up, and you're going to have dead strings. So you're going to have to really work to try and get this shape to feel comfortable. Now again, this could take a little while. Nobody just walks up to a guitar, wraps their hand like this and plays a bar chord, okay? It doesn't happen that way. So it's going to take a little time. And the reason I'm having you go down to the 5th fret is because, as you probably notice, the spaces between the frets get smaller the further down you go. The space up here at that first fret is very wider compared to here. So this way you don't have to stretch as far. Okay, so I want you to try and get used to that shape. But I'm going to talk about leverage in a second. But for now, remember, it's the shape of basically just think, for any of these on the 6th string, think E major chord, okay, major chord, you know, shift it to free up your first finger, and then just slide it, like if I do it to the 3rd fret, and there you go, because no matter what fret we're on, that's still a 6th string major chord. Remember from our cheater on the notes on the neck, this is an F, 3rd fret at the low E string is a G, 5th fret is an A, right? So if I play that bar chord at the 3rd fret, because I'm on, remember this is the low E string root bar chords we're doing, wherever your first finger is on this note, or on this string, at that 3rd fret, that's a G, so that's G major. Okay? If I move G major, if I move this up a whole step or 2 frets, now I've changed from the 3rd fret root on the low E string to the 5th fret. That note is an A. So now it becomes an A major. Right? Same kind of sound as your A major open here, where you're playing with 3 fingers. Right? Same kind of sound. A major chord, little different timbre. You're playing 6 strings instead of 5. So you see the beauty of these bar chords is that, remember, earlier for these open chords, to play a D major you had to finger this, then to play a G major you have to totally change your fingering. For A major you had to memorize another fingering, right? For C major, here's another one. The bar chord, like I said in the primer, you're just doing this, sliding it, this shape. Your fingers in this shape, like an E major chord, with the first finger barred, is a major bar chord on the 6th string. If I do it at the 1st fret, that's F. Let me give you a little better look at that. There you go. 3rd fret is G. 5th fret is A. 7th fret, this would be a B. That's a B note. That's an A note. That's a G note. That's an F note. So you get this kind of thing. I'm just sliding around this bar chord, okay? So I don't necessarily want you to play yet. I want you to try, and you probably first try this and you're like, wow, that's rough. At first, it might be a little challenging, but again, put this into your practice routine and you're going to get it. I'm going to pull the camera back in a minute and we'll talk about leverage, just 5 minutes a day. So remember, low E string, make your E chord, free up the first finger, slide down. If you want to try it at the 1st fret, it's hard, you're going to have to stretch further. That's why I'm having you try it at the 5th fret first. The frets are a little closer. And this is the shape you're going to get down. Okay? Now, one other thing when you're trying this, okay? Here's the thing. Remember what I said before, it's not about brute strength, okay? Because young kids can play bar chords. So it's not about, really, you know, you're going to need a little bit of strength to bar all 6 strings, and that's why I gave you that strength builder, by barring just that one finger, right? To build up that strength pushing down. The main thing is try this. Try leveraging some strength by kind of with your arms. And it might sound a little foreign at first, but it really works. I'm going to play this major bar chord by forming the E, then sliding it down and dropping my first finger bar over all the strings. And remember what we've memorized from our cheater lesson. 1st fret on a low E string is an F, 3rd fret is a G, 5th fret is an A, 7th fret is a B, right? And we memorized notes also on the A string. We're going to get to that in the next module. So just go to the 5th fret and form that bar chord. Okay, now, when you're pushing down, instead of concentrating on that pushing down and do that with your hand and wrist, try to think of it more of like you're kind of leveraging with both arms, and you're trying to kind of like, not necessarily hug the guitar, but kind of you're leveraging more and pushing kind of more with your arms. Like your arm against the guitar here, and your arm here. So it's kind of like you're bringing the guitar into your body. See? Now when I bring the guitar into my body, and I'm doing that by a little bit of a push with this arm into my body, that really leverages my strength. So try and like more like, again, just so now so you can get used to this and kind of get all the notes to ring out. Try to leverage the strength of your arms. You're pushing it against your body with both arms, kind of leveraging your strength. So you're not all just doing this. It's not this. This is not going to get you that chord right now. Not all, not just this with this. You're going to use, you know, here, here, and try and do this kind of thing with your arms to try and, you'll see what I'm talking about when you have the guitar. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll see what I'm saying. Once you try to push this in with your arms, and it really works. See, I could really feel that. Like, oh wow, it's almost like it's easier to push this way as I'm pushing this way. Makes it easier on your hand, right? Again, you know, it's not about brute strength. I've had, 10-year-olds ripping playing bar chords. So that excuse does not fly here at the Next Level Guitar. No! Alright? So, now remember, this is not an overnight thing. It's going to feel very foreign to you. And don't think you can get all the notes to ring out like right now while you're watching this video. It's going to take some practice. Remember the first time you ever tried to play a G chord? Or an F chord? Right? Or a C chord? Remember when you first got a guitar? It seems like so long ago, right? You couldn't even get your fingers to play the C, and now you're probably going through those changes, playing those songs like it's nothing, being the rock stars that you are. Right? Same thing with these bar chords. Soon they'll be just as easy. And we're going to practice changing with bar chords. Okay? Soon. So I want you to practice just getting this shape down. Just remember, when you're thinking about it, think of the other 3 fingers as like an E major chord, and just with that first finger bar. And wherever you slide it, the name of the shape stays the same. The name of the chord is whatever fret you're on the low E string for this particular shape. 5th fret, it's an A. Okay, so again, leverage into your body, okay? Pull it in. Pull in and try to get all 6 notes to ring out. That's all I'm going to tell you to do right now. Just get, and it's going to take a while. When you can get all 6 on the A, move it back a whole step to the G. Try to get all 6 to ring out. Then go back another, and that'll be the hardest one. The hardest one, because that's the furthest distance that you're going to have to push down on the strings. Because we're running out of real estate. We're at the nut, right? At the F. And try to get all 6 notes clean. And you can do it. And believe me, when I first did this, when I was young, very young, I'm still a young man, but when I was really young, the first time, this is a true story, a friend of mine was a pretty accomplished bass player. He could play a little guitar. I was pretty young. And he's like, oh yeah, let me show you how to play bar chord. I hardly ever touched a guitar before. I'm like, all right, I don't know a bar chord from like a piece of rope cord. I didn't know a bar chord from an elephant. What's a bar chord? So he's like, yeah, just put your hand like this and put this. I'm like, what? I had to literally take my fingers, and because he didn't show me this trick about the E and moving that, and he didn't show me about the leveraging with your arms. He just thought he was a really good musician, and he thought everyone could be as great as he could, you know? So I literally had to take my fingers with my right hand, and I'm like, you want me to play this? And I couldn't even get him to stay there, and it was just a mess. And then it turned me off. So that's why now I want to show you the easy way. I don't want you to go through that. You know what I'm saying? But the first time you're trying this, you're probably like, geez, wow, how am I going to get that? But remember the first time I asked you to play a C chord, you were probably like, how am I going to get that? And now you're mastering it, right? These methods work. It's easy. You can do it. You can do it! Okay? So, your task amongst your other practices that we're going over, remember, 5-10 minutes a day, and go through those practice routines in the different modules. Now incorporate pecking away at a 6-string root or low E string root bar chord. You can do it, people. I'll see you in the next module. And don't give up. Don't get discouraged. 10 minutes a day. That will come. You can do it. It's just going to take some time and a little bit of work. And I'll see you, and you, and you, and you in the next module. Rock on.